got the manual. Breakdown of what this product can do, warnings, things of that nature. Over here. Got the wax paper thank you card from the CEO. We got the RGB stickers, standard with most Razer products. We got the Chroma feel to that. It's pretty. A sneaky snake. Now for the product itself. We have the USB-C style cable, you can see here. We also have the band that holds it together. This is permanently attached. You can cut it off, but I would keep it. You can use it later for cable management, tie some of your other cords together. The cord is braided, like a paracord. And I believe this cord is about 6 feet in length. Yeah, it's about 6 foot cord. Feels really nice. Next we have the armrest. It's a leatherette kind of material. Got the nice Razer logo on here. Soft, pretty firm but soft. Hard plastic bag with the rubber feet. Feels nice. Hold pretty well. So again, we're going to get more into the tech on this keyboard and a little bit more detail here in a second, but we'll do a little sound test to the keys. Alright, so let's talk about the tech behind the Black Widow version 3 Pro from Razer. Again, this keyboard is a mechanical keyboard. You have two options when you purchase it. You can get the green mechanical tactile feeling switches, or you can get the yellow linear switches. This is going to depend on your preference and your play style. So the Razer green switches are going to be a more mechanical clicky feeling switch. They are going to have that 50 grams of actuation force, which means that's how much pressure is required to press the key down. And they have a 1.9 millimeter actuation point, which means it takes about 1.9 millimeters for you to press all the way down, the distance traveled to make the response from the keyboard to do something in the game. Then there's going to be the 0.4 reset point, whereas after you press it down, you have to bring it back up about 0.4 millimeters. Then it'll allow you to press it back down again to have another response. So again, the green switches are clicky, so when you press down, you'll hear a click. When you lift up, you'll hear a click. And that's good for some gamers because some gamers like to hear it and feel it. So that way they know they press the key far enough to get the response they need to do something in a game or a program or typing, whatever it is that they're doing. Then we have the yellow switches. Now the yellow switches are a linear switch. They're going to be quieter and they're not going to have that click to it. So the actuation force behind these keys are 45 grams and the actuation point is 1.2 millimeters, and there's no reset point on this. That means when I press that key all the way down to 0.2 millimeters and then let up, I can press instantly right back down. I'm going to get a response. I don't have to bring it up the 0.4 like the green ones and then press it back down. This keyboard does come standard with RGB lighting. You can change the settings of the lights and the pattern of the lights and many other things in Synapse. Just check that out on the later section of the video. It also has the standard indication lights to include caps lock, shift, macro, and game mode. Macro and game mode are not standard, but they have that on here. Those are located above the directional keys. You also have the multimedia keys in the top right of the keyboard. This includes a volume switch, which is a rotary functioning switch. So you just turn it up or down for the volume. In the center of that, you have the mute button. And then next to it, you have the forward, play, pause, and rewind buttons. This keyboard is also set up with internal memory, so you can have up to 4 profiles, which is great if you're going from a first-person shooter, jumping into a RPG, or maybe into your stream, and you have certain macros set up for streaming. It just kind of makes it really nice and flexible to move around and do different things. Then you have the keyboard's 3 different types of connectivity. First off is the wire connection. It's a braided paracord style USB-C cord. Then you have the 2.4 gigahertz connectivity. It has a dongle that's located in the back of the keyboard for storage. You take that out, you plug it into your USB, and then you just connect it through the Synapse program, and you're good to go. The connectivity feels really strong on it. I haven't felt any lag or latency as of yet. And then you have the Bluetooth connection. This Bluetooth connection gives you 3 different devices that you can connect it to. So when you do that, you can connect to a laptop or maybe a games console or whatever Bluetooth capabilities you have. Now for the construction of this keyboard, it's made up of an aluminum top, and then on the bottom you have the hard plastic base. It also has attached to it 4 little rubber feet to help keep the keyboard from sliding around and moving. As well as the legs of the keyboard, you have 3 different settings or functions. You have the base, which is 0, flat. You have the first little one, which brings it up to 6 degrees. And then you have the third one, which brings it up to 9 degrees. Now the keys on this keyboard are double shot ABS. This means that they have a textured, more durable feel to them. They're thicker, they're not as flimsy as your standard keys. This will allow the texture and the letters and numbers and labels on your keys to last a lot longer, which is great. And lastly, you have your armrest. Your armrest is a pleather, kind of leatherette feeling material. It's, again, the leather is on the top, you have the little Razer logo in the center, and on the back side you have a hard plastic material with multiple rubber little feet attached to it to help it from sliding around. And it feels really nice. The cushion is soft with some firmness to it. Now the only con I can think of with this armrest is that this leatherette material might start to fade or wear or flake away over time. This being because the natural oils in your skin, to include salts, acids, and oils of that nature, will start to break it down. I have had headphones in the past where they had similar material, and just over time it just kind of starts to flake and break away. But other than that, I think it's a solid feeling armrest, and I'm hoping it'll last long, and I hope I'm wrong, but we'll find out. So without further ado, let's jump into the Synapse program, and let's get this thing lit up and see what it can do. So this is the Synapse program. It's the software that manages all your Razer devices, whether it's the lighting, macros, whatever it may be. So this is the home page. You can see all my items here. I can click on the keyboard here, or I can go up here and click on the keyboard, as well as accessing any other devices or sections of this program. So we'll click on the Razer keyboard. Now we're on the keyboard's little home page. Up in the top kind of center area, we have this little SD card looking device. You click on that and it has all your little profiles for the onboard memory for the keyboard. You have 4 different profiles. You can set them up for different functions, such as if you're playing a first-person shooter and then you want to quickly hop over to your stream, or maybe an RPG, and you don't want to have to keep resetting all your macros. This gives you a little bit more flexibility and ease of use. You can also change the name of your profile up here. You can select each individual key to program. You have it in standard mode here. We can go to hypershift, and we click that. This pretty much is whenever we press and hold the button on the keyboard to activate hypershift, it allows us to have another set of functioning keys. So it in a way doubles the amount of keys you have on your keyboard, if that makes sense. Then while gaming, we can go down here and we can select different functions while we're gaming. It can either be on, always, off, or just only enabled while in game. But this prevents, like, say, from hitting the Windows key. If you accidentally hit the Windows key, it'll pull that little screen up and pop up in the middle of your game, and you really don't want that if you're in the middle of a firefight. As well as the disable Alt Tab or Alt F4. So it just gives you a little bit of protection from accidentally opening up random menus while in game. And again, here's the 2.4 gigahertz hyperspeed pairing device, so if you need help pairing the device, you can go here. But yeah, this is just your kind of standard little setup. And we can go to power at the top. There's a little tab. And we can either click the lighting completely off, or we can set it to go off after so many minutes of inactivity. There's the power saving, again, for that inactivity. So you can just kind of help your keyboard save power. This keyboard is supposed to have 192 hours of charge. If you're having your RGB lighting at max capacity and it's doing all a bunch of crazy stuff, it'll drain a lot faster. I think it'll, with full lighting and everything on, it'll probably last you about 13 hours from what I researched. I'll have to test it out and let you guys know at a later point. And then here's our lighting effects. We can kind of choose the brightness to be off completely, or we can set it to a certain percentage. We also can set it so that way it's off when the display is off, or when it idles, it'll stay on. So that's kind of your choice. Next we have the actual Chroma Studio, where we can go in and set our lighting up. Now, you can choose to click here to go to the studio, or you can go up to studio as well. So it's whatever you feel is easiest. You can also go to quick effects and click on that and quickly just set something up if you don't want to have to dig around and mess in your studio. So let's go in. So here's our studio. In the top left corner here, we got your files and your effect layers. So when you go down here and click on your effects in the bottom left corner, they'll populate up here. So let's say we click Ripple. It's going to populate up here. And then when we use this, we can actually add multiples and keep them all on. If you notice the eye means that this is the one you're going to be viewing. These ones right here means the eye's off, so we're not going to be seeing anything. So as you can see, if you had multiple eyes open, then you'll have all these different effects going on. But for now, we're just going to focus on the ripple. And you'll see it populated up here in the top left. Now, what we can do is either click and select, drag and select all, or we can go to the drop down menu and click to select everything. Once we have everything clicked and selected, we can move our mouse over to the right and we can select our preset colors. So we can select the Chroma preset pattern, or you can select whatever you want. You can go to speed, width, playback, press, all these different different settings are over here. And then you click save. You'll put the effect that you chose and apply it to your equipment. So now, when I click on my keyboard, I will get the ripple effect. And wherever I click, it'll radiate from. That's just some of the basic Synapse color editing stuff from the studio. If you would like a more in-depth review, let me know, and I can make a video going into Synapse and showing you a little bit more and what can be done.